I hope to come through the experience having gained an experience I didn't have before, that I'm going to learn and grow from. And even though there are days that I'd like to spend all day in my room, I can't do that. And the role that has been carved for me, that I have carved for myself, that was a niche that somehow needed to be filled, and I was there at the time, and it filled it to a certain extent. I can't walk away from that. I'm committed to that. And there may be a price to pay for that. There may be many prices to pay. But I've spent the last 6 years giving speeches, and I had some tough days, and have had some real meltdowns and some real ridicule when I first started. But if it helps somebody besides me, it'll be so worth it.
Marty's psychiatrist sat on our board of directors for the Autism Society of McLean County, and Marty obviously was her patient. And I think it was at a time in Marty's life when she was looking for a connection outside of her bedroom, because she spent most of her time at home in her room, watching movies, reading books, alone. And she was just looking for some kind of a connection outside of that. And so her psychiatrist recommended that she contact me, which she did via email. You know, she had been to college, and she had had these experiences of going to Ireland and studying to be a chef, and things that I had thought were out of the realm of the possibility for somebody diagnosed with autism. And I was still, you know, it was very early still for me too, and I didn't realize that with proper interventions, that our kids can grow up and be very successful adults. I also probably didn't realize the vast spectrum. At the time she was nonverbal. There was something about the whole meeting that we just connected, and pretty much have been a part of each other's life since.
Christina kept her. Christina tried to choose for me.
Where is the...
My wife introduced me to Marty. She said, this is an individual that you have to meet. And so we went to lunch at Cracker Barrel and immediately hit it off with one another and have been friends ever since. She's a real contradiction. She's a very intelligent person, but truly lacks social judgment, social understanding, how to interact with individuals. And so it really comes across as though she's very retarded socially, and people don't necessarily give her credit for being adult-like because of what they would interpret to be an immature response to things.
Well, there's no way to simply describe Marty. She always surprises me. Well, several times she's come in and spoken. And what we see there is somebody who appears to be very confident. I know that a couple of times after she's left, she's been very upset because she can't gauge how well she's done. And then I've seen her sometimes be very relaxed and look more classically like she has autism.
Marty, you know, has come to us as like a second family later on in her life. I would say we met, you know, we get together not only for religious events, but then, you know, it's for family types of things, games, outings, dinner. My boys enjoy the time we spend with Marty, and she's just a great family friend. Her insights in terms of growing up and in her processing of language, her scheme of how she sees the world, you know, there's definitely different brain procedures and processing that are going on with individuals with autism. And so her insights have helped me greatly in terms of how to intervene on behalf of those kids and develop more appropriate goals.
I'm here to talk about autism, and I want to know how many of you know what autism is. How many of you have a family member with autism? How many of you have neighbors with autism?
For so many years, she was told she was nothing, she was mentally retarded. then she finds out, you know, she has autism, and to get to the other side where she holds down a job, she travels the country to speak. You know, I mean, that's jumping to the other side from where she used to not speak and have meltdowns all the time. To be able to get up and cross that river to get to the other side where she's able to talk about her disability with the humor that she uses, and talk about herself in those situations and her own progression to get to that place, I think it's amazing.
The room was originally going to be an exercise room, so that's why you see all the, it's only as important as you make it, and strength, inspire, believe. Jackie put the words up in, I think it's Chinese, which I don't know why, because no one here is Chinese, but it's cool. Graham came, it's my understanding, he came into Normal because he was filming the movie Normal Folk, and he was put in contact with Jackie. At the time, she was president of the Autism Society in McLean County. We just kind of hit it off. He hit it off with the whole family, you know, Jackie and Austin and Michael. But that's pretty much. It was about a year ago.
My son was diagnosed 8 years ago with autism. When he was diagnosed, I founded the Autism Society of McLean County. I was a homemaker. I had twins. And I had stayed home since the time they were born. We played house. We had fun until Austin started showing signs of losing some of the skills that he had acquired before. He started showing some regression when he was about 20 months. And at that time, he was diagnosed with developmental delays. But over the course of the next year, although we were receiving services at home and working with him on a regular basis, he continued to regress until at the age of 3, it was recommended that we go back and be evaluated again. And at that time, he was diagnosed as being severely autistic and mentally retarded. I recall the day we went and got the evaluation diagnosis. It was just Austin and I and the developmental pediatrician. Her recommendation was try to find a support group if you can, but don't have a lot of expectations for him. And I remember going to my car and thinking, okay, what the hell do we do now?